When running your business, have you ever asked yourself, should I hire an employee or use a contractor? It may sound like a simple question, but the choice can really impact the taxes, superannuation, insurances, and employment laws for the business. So it's important to understand how hiring employees and contractors work so that you don't expose your business to risks and unnecessary costs. Firstly, let's talk about the differences between the two. It's not the easiest to work out who is an employee or a contractor, but the ATO does give us a list of factors. For example, an employee is personally required to perform the work, whereas a contractor can delegate the work to another person. An employee generally uses the tools and equipment provided by the employer, whereas a contractor provides their own tools and equipment. An employee is entitled to annual leave, sick leave, and long service leave, and the contractor gets none of those benefits. The employee still gets paid even if the work is unsatisfactory, but if it was a contractor, they will have to rectify that poor work at their own cost and their effort. The employee is paid on a regular and ongoing basis, and the contractor is paid on a job-by-job basis with a clear result for the payment. Employees are always engaged as individuals, whereas contractors can be a sole trader or a company or a trust. An employee works in your business and is part of your business, whereas a contractor is running their own business. It's really important to understand these differences between an employee and a contractor. Here are the pros of hiring an employee. Number 1, employees are more stable and more loyal to the business. Number 2, government bodies normally provide concessions and grants for workers like JobKeeper. Number 3, in most industries, employees can be cheaper than hiring contractors if you have constant work for the employee. And number 4, employees' taxes, super, and insurance are taken care of by the business. But what about the cons of hiring an employee? Number 1, employees can attract a lot of costs such as superannuation, taxes, insurances, and payroll tax for the business. Number 2, employment laws can be hard to navigate, which can result in red tape that the business needs to abide by. Number 3, if there is no work for the permanent employee, you may still need to pay them their full wages. Now let's talk about contractors. The pros of using a contractor are: number 1, contractors can be hired per project or per outcome, so you don't need to outlay costs when you don't need them. Number 2, contractors also require less management from the business. They're usually expected to manage their own workload and deadlines. What about the cons of using a contractor? Number 1, contractors are generally less loyal to a company due to the flexible nature of their work. They could be working on multiple contracts with multiple businesses. Number 2, you have less control over the contractor than you would over an employee. Number 3, the contractor could be terrible at reporting their taxes, super, and insurance, which could expose your businesses to tax audits or risks. And number 4, if you're in certain industries such as building, cleaning, or IT, you have to lodge taxable payments annual reports, which is more work for you. If you want to know more about TPARs and whether it applies to your industry, check out my video about it here. So as you can see, it's very easy to mix up the two. So you want to be extremely careful with the contract and the agreement you have in place with the employee or the contractor. It's against the law for the business to incorrectly treat their employees as contractors. The ATO and the Fair Work can go after the business who are not doing this correctly. Businesses can get into a lot of trouble, which can result into further payments of taxes, superannuation, insurances, interest charges, admin costs, and penalties and audits by the ATO and the Fair Work. Here's a quick example of how an employee and contractor affects the taxes of a business. When you pay an employee, you must do the following: prepare tax forms, employment forms, and contracts. Prepare pay slips. Withhold tax from the payments. Pay superannuation for the employee. Report wages and tax. Set up a payroll software and then report single touch payroll. Get the insurance to cover the employees, such as workers' compensation, and purchase equipment and materials for the employee. On the other hand, when you pay a contractor, you must do the following: request an invoice from the contractor if you're paying them. Pay for the work and the GST if it's applicable. Ensure the contractor is covered by insurance, whether it is your insurance policy or theirs. In certain industries, you have to lodge TPARs. And finally, preparing a contract for the service is optional, but highly recommended. So these are the things you need to consider when deciding whether you want to hire an employee or use a contractor. It really depends on where your business is at and also your tax situation. So it's best to speak with a good accountant when making big decisions like this. If you have any questions regarding this topic, leave a comment below and I'll reply as soon as I can. And if there's anything you want me to explain or make a video about, let me know as well. And if you like the content that I make, why not just subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on those new videos I release every week. Thanks guys, see you next time.